The final challenge is always something that I've looked up to. Whether it be an obvious example like Malenia, Blade of Mikola, the idea of rendering the hardest level apart just to be met with one final boss who's even more difficult and facing them down, it's one of the coolest things ever to me. Spoilers for the big scary doors in 3.1 and 6.2 and also Malenia. You venture into a tiny town and you find puzzles which will lead you to Mikkel's hail tree. Venturing inside, you find ants jumping from growth to growth on a giant plant. This level is grand, and like the locations of the puzzles before this, they're scary and deadly. However, those are not the challenges of this location. It's just a warning and a warm-up. Loretta, Knight of the Halig Tree, faces you, and just then you realize that the warned has become the warning. The build-up to this boss is incredibly executed, almost as incredibly as the boss has been executed. And that is something that can be said for Ultrakill's Minos Prime. He has perfected his soul, perfected his body, but to reach him, you'll have to perfect yours too. This door is spotted head to toe in peas, 15 of them to be exact. The doorway is hidden under here, and it's engulfed in shadows and light, and it's a menacing symbol of the level. And the message of this door is clear: come back when you're perfect. And trust me, it's not just asking you, it's demanding you to, and for a good reason. And so your quest begins, speeding through levels, not only without sparing any lives, but at the speediest pace possible, looking for any spare mechanics and skills that you left behind in your original playthrough. The bosses become pushovers, the levels are cleared of life in half a dozen minutes, most of the time even less. If Gabriel asks you how a man can be more powerful than an army, Minos asks you how a man can be more powerful than an entire country. And yet, you still pursue him. As you cross into P1, the level is dark, the only light being this torch you find as you descend down a staircase of spines. The aura is intense, and you can tell that whatever lies at the bottom of this is gonna be difficult. So let's see what's at the bottom of this room and behind this door. Minos, what the fuck happened? The flesh prison is a hard fight for new players, probably the hardest you've ever experienced so far. He doesn't move, but he has a big hitbox, and he makes up for it with solid health, insane DPS potential, and these goddamn healing eyes. Let me give you a quick tip. The only way you struggle on this boss is if you don't kill those eyes, and my name is Oppenheimer, so Then, since that's all done and dusted, you get to shift your focus on damaging and dodging, making sure you pump as many shotgun slugs into its body and not taking damage. The boss is one of the most simple in the game and can be compared to Minos and the Leviathan, so as long as you nuke all his eyeballs off and, dodge all his attacks, you'll be fine. And with that boss fight done, I am left thoroughly disappointed. Man, all that build up for this lame ass boss, oh Jesus, I mean, I might even go play Doom and enjoy myself some more. What the fuck is that? Do I hear boss music?
Oh, Gabriel, now dawns thy reckoning.
Okay, shut up, let's get into this. Minos is a hard boss. If you go into his wiki page, I won't doubt you if you said you tapped out and went into a textbook, because he has, let's see. When he says this, Minos will teleport to you and perform a kick. When teleporting, he will also then teleport up and follow up with a drop down slam, signified by him shouting die or crush. Or he'll follow that with a serpent, which is a free parry to me. Also, I'm not going to talk about stamina here, I'm just here to tell you why the boss is really, really good. I'm not nerd shit. When he shouts die, he will instantly slam at you, forcing you to dodge at the right time to avoid the attack. You'll also have to jump before this because he'll create a massive shockwave, and you're better off in the sky and jumping over it instead of trying to dash through it. When he shouts crush, it's basically the same thing as die, but it only happens when V1 is too close to Minos. Then there is the serpent ability, where Minos creates out of nothing a bright orange serpent, and this can be very easily parried, but it's also a nightmare to dodge if you don't. It is very persistent and will not disappear until it contacts something. However, the only real way to dodge it consistently is to parry it, and even though it's really easy, it always feels very good, especially if you launch it straight back at him. However, if you miss, you're gonna feel it. You'll feel like you're in the front line seeing bullets whiz past you and then come right back like a boomerang, frantically dashing out the way as the serpent brushes up against you and barely misses. It's super fun and exciting. Now, there are also some combo moves. Prepare Thyself is a combo where he kicks you twice, which can be very easily dodged with a dash and a slide, or very tightly dodged with 2 slides. It's exhilarating seeing his kicks barely miss you. After this, he shoots serpents at you, which you can also easily dodge dodge or parry back to him. This subtly rewards you for good positioning because if you successfully dodge and dash out the way, you'll be directly in line to push that serpent back into his face. Thy End is a 4-hit combo, the last one being an uppercut which can be parried. Much like the other attacks, you can also dodge this one by simply strafing, dodging, or sliding. If you get hit by one of his attacks, you might be flung into the air, which makes dodging like quite a bit harder. Speaking of the uppercut, this is a single attack that can be parried, but if you don't, you might have some troubles with die or crush. Now, with all that boring stuff done, let me quickly tell you about some tips and tricks and why I think this is one of the best boss fights in the game and in the general gaming industry as a whole. I alluded to this before in my first video, check it out, that Minos takes very heavy inspiration from fighting games, and while that is kind of a hyperbole, it's true in some aspects. His mannerisms and the way he chains attacks definitely takes inspiration from these games. Going from judgment to a teleport before going to drop down on you, it all feels very combo-like. He chains these attacks together, weaving in and out of you, so that you'll have to be familiar with his moveset, or have the reaction time of a god. That's why he's so fun to fight. I stopped playing Ultrakill for months. I died when I was fighting V2 and Gabriel, but when I came back to Minos Prime, I got him on my first try. Why? Because he's not hard for me anymore, because he's not hard for the sake of being hard. His moves, while really confusing and almost scary from a new player's perspectives, are honestly one of the easiest attacks to dodge and parry in the entire game. And once you've memorized all his attacks to the point where you've gotten a P rank in the mission, you basically have him read like a book constantly. And he is, in my opinion, the funnest boss in the game. He's even made it into the new Spider-Man film. Good for him. My best tip is to take it slow. Don't go for any stupid decisions and save your dashes for the parts where you really need them. His fist and kick combos can be easily dodged with sliding and parrying, but his drop downs like crush and die need to be dodged. Also, unlike the Leviathan, this boss is a mad dash to stay on the ground. In the air, he's in control and your movement is uncomfortable. You have nowhere to slide on and you also can't slide anywhere. Slamming down onto the arena feels like a breath of fresh air. Almost like how slamming that subscribe button is. You know, the last time I asked comments, the video actually blew up, so please, if you want to see a big smile on my face, please comment, like, and sub. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you, bye-bye. Like, comment, bye-bye. His design is also part of what makes him so legendary. You find this guy in Gmod and Roblox and a lot of other things because having your ass shafted never looked so damn good. However, in Hikida's wise words, if you thought P1 was hard, ha ha ha. If you thought 6-1 and 2 were hell, you would be wrong. The red slicked hallways filled with the hanging flickers of candles taunts you as you make your way through an empty hallway. It's quiet and eerie and peaceful. I wonder what the challenge of this is. I reckon Hikida just did a little bit of trolling on Twitter. Oh wait, what does this do? Imagine 6-1 but on giga steroids. I hope you like multitasking, and above all, I hope you're a masochist, because the only joy you're gonna get out of this is getting beat against the wall over and over and over again. You were one enemy from clearing that room? Too bad. Back to the start you go. You wanted to heal in one of the most fucked arenas of all time? Too bad. Cry yourself to sleep. The first room, the Weezer's room, or the jump scare room, has 4 Cerberuses suddenly materialize out of nowhere. Now, if this wasn't bad enough, after you've killed 2 of them, a ferryman will spawn. Now, people have already figured out how to one-shot this room, but I'm not as good at the game. Oh, and once you kill either all the Cerberuses or the ferrymen, 2 virtues spawn outside the arena, so good luck finishing them all off at the same time. However, I cannot stress enough how much worse it gets. Here is the bridge, the first big set piece. Finish off your virtues and go ahead, where you will see 4 schisms, a sword machine, 2 sentries, and a mind flayer. Oh, and the mind flayer, you can't kill it until you've finished everything else and more, because an idol on the other side of the fucking map wants to ruin your day, and it will follow you until you reach its killer. Then you move on to a tiny corridor with a couple street cleaners and a Cerberus. Just be careful of the pain in the ass mind flayer, of course. And here comes the first challenge. Yes, I said the first challenge because everything before this was nothing but a warm-up. You enter the plaza and suddenly there's an idol. That's the one I need to kill, this mind flayer, and oh fuck, now there are 2 of them, both invincible, and along with 2 sword machines and a sentry. After finishing the sentries and the sword machines, you Oh my god, it just can't get worse. I usually try to focus them down because they are much more of a threat than the malicious faces that also spawn. Then, finally, after doing all of that, you finally... Oh my god, the glass is broken and I can finally kill these mind flayers. Jesus Christ. And then you grab the skull and you can take a breather. Finally, there are no hot milfs in my area and I can enjoy my victory and feel... Oh my god, what the fuck? If you don't like being jumped by two mind flayers, may I interest you in being jumped by two very, very big men, ready to absolutely fist you. This battle is hard, but two big men make me harder, so I beat them with ease and move on. Surely that'll be the last thing to threaten me, right? Surely nothing can be harder than the stuff I just did. Welcome to the second challenge of this world. Well, not yet. Go past this cool little corridor with some malicious faces and virtues, and then you'll reach it. A ferryman, 4 strays, 2 sword machines, and a stalker. This room contains 2 more idols housed inside indestructible glass. One does nothing and the other one blesses. Wait, no, my free healing. Okay, no, this is fine. This is manageable. Oh my god, what the fuck? I hope you've gotten good at the cyber grind because Minos will not help you here. Oh, and did I mention that everything in here is gonna get sanded? At the same time, the fucking hideous masses spawn. 4 sentries on each corner of the map appear at once. So you better gun them down presidential style or you're gonna end up presidential style. Don't get hit, alright? I suggest killing the ferrymen and the sword machines first because once those sentries are down, there's no going back. And don't forget, the hideous mass is alive the entire time and you cannot do anything about him. Once the sentries are dealt with, 3 Cerberuses will spawn around the mass in the center of the room, along with 3 virtues, which are pretty far above the air. At the same time, the giant barriers protecting the annoying enemies lifts away, so you can finally murder the hideous mass, though you're not going to get any healing from it. So yeah, good luck and pray to God that you don't get thrown away. This battle will be hard. It makes 6-1 look like a cakewalk, but it's possible and you'll adapt. You've done it before. And once you've persevered, once you've gone through all of that pain and turmoil, attempting this room over and over and over again. Alright, calm yourself. You fought Minos, the king of Crete, and you're fighting against someone who rolls a boulder up a mountain? You'll be fine. Sisyphus, what the fuck did they do? Now the flesh panacoptium is how do I say this? It's easy. Not only are its moves easier, but the lack of the stupid fucking 50 healing orbs his counterpart has it basically makes the fight an entire pushover. Only this time it's also 50% easier because you can, you know, grapple onto it and pop, it's gone. The healing eyes they died. It also has hideous mass projectiles, which you can also easily dodge, and virtue beams that go sideways instead of upwards, which are also easy to dodge as well. And of course, the Ultrakill classic, a black hole to make sure you're moving and don't die from boredom. However, it's not like all of this matters because the boss either heals once or you do half its health.
To hold me.
This is Sisyphus Prime. Everything you've done in Ultrakill has just been a warm-up. There can be no saving from him. He is Death Destroyer of Worlds and you're gonna be the only one doing the Sisyphean task because you're gonna die over and over and over again, getting railed non-stop by this big, hulky man. One must imagine Sisyphus happy as he renders you apart. Sticks you in a pot with 1 large onion, 2 stalks of celery, large carrots chopped, and a cup of red wine, some crushed and pasted tomatoes, as well as a 1/4 cup of flour, some Worcestershire sauce and balsamic vinegar topped with oil, salt, pepper, garlic, and rosemary, slowly searing until you're browned before sticking you into an oven for 4 to 5 hours to render you the fuck apart. Now this guy also has a lot of moves, except they're much harder to dodge and they pack much more of a punch than Minos.
You can't escape.
Make Sisyphus strike a JoJo pose before teleporting in quick succession 3 times, all of them with the intent to hurt you. The 3rd teleport ends with a stomp that will create a shockwave. This can be parried, but I mean the shockwave doesn't go away. This can also be easily dodged by sliding 3 times and then jumping and then slamming. This will instantly subvert the player's expectations because that's 2 of Minos's attacks merged into 1 and oh my god, my health bar.
Destroy.
Make Sisyphus teleport up to you and uppercut you before planting a high explosive that will follow you and blow you up if you don't get the hell out of dodge. Following you much like the serpent, just unparryable and highly explosive. You can parry Sisyphus as he creates the explosion though. I mean, it doesn't stop the explosion, but you know.
This
is similar to destroy, but he just plops down a massive fucking nuke and you're just gonna have to dodge with your iframes to stay alive. However, parrying this move will also completely stun lock him, so it's pretty useful. Be Gone is another teleport followed by a clap very reminiscent of the forward shockwave of the Hideous Mass, which can again be parried and dashed out of. Then are his vanilla moves via any voice lines, like the roundhouse kick, overhead punch, ground slam, and he also has a taunt where he says nice try. But you're probably scrambling over there, shameless and without dignity, trying to get as much health back as you can. Now, this makes me think, how can you beat such a man? And to that I say by being good, but I'm not good, so what am I to do? Well, it's called crutches. However, that doesn't make him any more easy to fight. He is the game's Malenia, hard, unforgiving, and unwavering. You will end up constantly dying for hours until you get that one good run. This boss is hard, not only because of his speed and health, but his attacks. They're unpredictable yet difficult, easily dodgeable yet hard to avoid. The perfect balance of a boss relying on mechanical skill to defeat a player instead of, a stacked health bar and damage numbers. Once you're good enough, it will be like me with Minos. But for now, all I have is this fight to show for it. I used everything, the saw blades, every pistol, shotgun swapping, and not to mention stat like the screwdriver. Instead of switching between only a couple weapons, you go through your entire arsenal. And when you win, you feel like a god. And honestly, I think he's better than Malenia. Please don't kill me. Okay, bye-bye. So, yeah, an almost 20-minute video about 2 bosses. I like Ultrakill, you know? Please comment though. I mean, it really helps the algorithm out. And this is probably one of my favorite videos I've made of all time. I put so much work and love and effort into this video, and it will actually just make my week. I got a lot of stuff planned, but I am really proud of this product. However, I want to quickly make sure that people know that I'm probably going to be moving to a 2-week schedule. I really enjoy creating these more ambitious projects with fully edited scripts and clips and putting them all together in a cool way. And I also want to start doing some more advanced challenges and have some, cleaner editing. And to do that, I really need 2 weeks to record and edit these videos. Anyways, Ultrakill, it's a pretty cool game, right? Say, you should join my Discord. We do some cool things there. Okay, bye-bye, I guess.